the very first day. We have to fill out all these contracts and stuff. Gentleman sits next to me and is like, "Hi, I'm D." And my response was, I got up and ran to the bathroom because I thought I was peeing my pants.
Welcome to MCM Comic Con.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here. Hello, everyone. Hello, London.
May the force be with you.
That's always a winner on these types of panels, isn't it? But no, welcome to London. How's London been? How's been meeting your UK fans?
It's so wild. I've had so many wonderful conversations. Thanks to everyone who's come from near and far, some from very, very far away, all the way from France. And I feel like my knowledge of your regional dialects is just as bad as it ever was. I still have a very bad geography of where all your beautiful accents come from. So thanks for putting up with mine.
Apologise for my accent. It can be very strong.
It's a little strong.
It's a little. This is me hiding it. How's it been for you?
Oh, I think it's been amazing, and I'm lucky to play a bunch of different characters in the Star Wars universe, so I love the affectionate hate that Rampart gets, and then it's actually been, I think, Michelle, you can probably understand what I mean. Like, you do the work, you kind of put your head down, and you try to tell the story and honor your character the best you can, and then you have to let it go.
So what I want to do, because I want to get through lots of fan questions, I thought I'd twist the panel structure up a little bit.
Ooh, okay.
Because I play D&D, and I know you play D&D.
Nerd.
Have you ever played D&D before?
I have. But I got introduced into it through work because I was playing a character who was really into D&D. So I did it as
How was that?
research a long time ago. A New Zealand film called My Wedding and Other Secrets, and I play a character called Emily. And
Nice.
but I'd like to play more. Like I'd like to
I mean, there's someone right next to you that can sort that out.
yeah. Yes.
Let's roll some dice.
So, I have 20 questions. And you're going to roll a d20, and whatever you roll will be the question you get. So I don't know well, I do, but I don't know which numbers you're going to get. Now, I have a strict rule is that you should never play with someone else's dice. So I went to the shops and I've bought you your own dice that you can roll with. So these are yours. There you go.
That's awesome.
And there's a little dice tray here, so you have to find the d20, but those are yours. You can get them out and you can roll with them. Because you should never roll with other people's dice. It's unlucky. So there you go. Some of them are quite heavy. They're pretty.
They're so pretty. Can you guys see these?
Ooh. Oh, these are wow. These are really
crazy cool.
I know what.
I love it.
Wow.
So, Michelle, would you like to roll into the tray, and this will determine the question I will ask?
Wait, does this mean that question 1 is like super invasive and uncomfortable? Like, how does this work?
Would I do that?
Yes.
Well, believe it or not, it says critical fail. So be careful what you roll, okay?
Is there a special way to roll, or like is it you just okay?
What number?
Oh, 3. That's quite close to 1.
3. Okay.
3.
Number 3. Blaster or lightsaber? And who would win in a battle between the two of you? Not your characters, but you. Would you choose a blaster or a lightsaber? And who would win in a fight between the two of you?
Okay, definitely. I think blaster. Controversial. Because then I can maintain a healthy distance and still. Oh, I'm sounding like I'm from the dark side. Yeah.
You take killing me very seriously.
I feel like then it could be like stealth mode. I think I'd be sneaky, but when you've got the saber, and then you can't be stealth.
I mean, blasters aren't that sneaky. They make a lot of noise, whereas a lightsaber...
No, I'm gonna stick with blaster.
Stick with the blaster?
Yes.
I have the feeling Michelle would be one of those folks too, like that is scarily good at hurting people, even though she seems very sweet. I know you.
So I think it'd be like clumsily good, like by accident. It would be like, whoops, here's a trip. Oh, was that the trigger? Yes.
Serendipitously lethal.
That's the word. Serendipitously lethal.
I love it.
What about yourself, though? Blaster or lightsaber?
And I have to pick one?
You have to pick one.
Why would you do both?
Well, because I would light my lightsaber, I would throw it in an arc, and then I would shoot the lightsaber and let it rain bolts down on you from cover.
Yeah, actually, can I just never be in a fight with pressure? I just feel like
That's brutal. I mean, do I have a lightsaber we can borrow so we can see that? No?
That was actually a move that for Bode I suggested. I wanted him to take the lightsaber, throw it, boom, right, and shoot at the lightsaber, and so you'd have like just a storm of blaster bolts coming down.
I'm sure he'll be in the next game.
Yes, I'm sure
Yeah.
that'll happen.
There's Force Ghosts. Right, would you like to roll a d20? Let's see what this next question is. Good answers.
16.
16, okay. Right, 16. What is one of your favourite lines from either your character or other characters that has always stuck with you? I will also allow it from maybe other shows that you've watched.
Favorite line?
Favourite line or memorable moment maybe from other characters that made you wish, God, I wish that was me.
I didn't make it to Vice Admiral on looks alone is one of my favorite lines just because he's such a pompous, like just so full of himself. And there have definitely been moments in my life where I was like, I wish I had that kind of just unabashed ego. Because it feels like sometimes when you're too dumb to know that you shouldn't be that egotistical, like things just happen for you because you don't know to think otherwise. Like idiot's luck. You know what I mean? I'm an idiot, but I'm not lucky. So I could use some idiot's luck. That's what I'll say.
Brilliant. What about yourself? Any lines that have stuck with you?
Well, only just because, I've done some other stuff outside of Star Wars as well. And I did this show that I was really fond of, and I thought that no one else really watched it. And someone came up to my table today and had done this amazing Omega from The Bad Batch and Sophia from Underemployed mashup illustration. And so my character has just graduated from university and is like womp womp in the real world and can't get a job. And she's working in a donut store, and she's wearing this big pink plastic donut on her head. And her catchphrase to everyone who walks in is like, "Welcome to Donut Girl. What's your donut?" I don't know. I hadn't thought about that for a while. And yeah, it was just sort of like this, kind of a little bit the opposite of Omega in a way. Sophia sort of starts off really, really optimistic and then is like thrown into the realities of a grown-up world and is like, life. Yes, so yeah.
Awesome. Right, it's your D20 roll. There we go.
Oh gosh, 2.
2, wow. I think I've cursed the dice.
This is really fun, by the way. This is a great way to choose questions.
You're not going to like this question.
Oh no.
This is going to out you a bit. Have you ever lied to get a job or role, and what was the lie? I love Star Wars. Get me in there.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever lied to get a job?
Yes, and it was so bad. It was so bad. So I am of Malaysian Chinese extraction, but I was born in New Zealand, and I can't speak any Chinese, which is really embarrassing. But sometimes, you get offered jobs based on kind of, what your ethnicity is. And the casting director was like, "Can Michelle speak Chinese?" And my agent said, "So can you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can. I mean, I can say hello. I can kind of order some dishes. How hard can it be? Like, say yes." And so my agent was like, yeah, she can. And the casting director was like, "Are you sure?" Came back on the email. And I was like, yeah, yes, I'm going to say yes, lean in. Anyway, we get the script. It turns out it's for Twilight Zone, Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone. Great series. My character is a marine biologist that's obsessed with octopi, very knowledgeable about very scientific, specific things about octopuses, and they give it to me in English, and they're like, "Oh, well, you can translate this into Chinese."
Oh no.
My character doesn't speak a word of English. She literally speaks Chinese the entire episode. But not only that, some of the English words I had to look up in the dictionary because they were so scientific, like chitinous. I think that's what you describe a hard beak. The beak of the octopus is like crusty and hard, and it's chitinous or chitinous. I don't even know how you're supposed to say it in English, but I very frantically had to go around, try and find a Chinese marine biologist to not only translate it into Chinese, but then teach it to me phonetically. So, I was listening to, playback, and I had to, if the producers of Twilight Zone are watching this now, I've just outed myself because...
That's what you get for rolling a 2.
Wait. But if the producer is only finding out now, it means you did a bang-up job.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you're still working in the industry, so
Amazing.
this is true. It was actually the most incredible shoot. I got to meet Jordan Peele. I got to shoot in Vancouver. They built this Antarctic base in a studio. Yeah, it was really cool. But yes, don't lie if you're an actor that you can speak languages that you cannot.
what about yourself? Have you ever lied to get a job role? Please don't post these on social media.
Do it. So I've always been lucky as an actor to not work in the service industry. Like I was usually like a personal trainer or like a martial arts instructor or what have you. I got asked to do a New Year's Eve gig and they were like, "So have you ever like been a bartender?" And I was like, "No." And my friend's like, "Good. Yes." And just turned and bald-faced lied for me and was like, "Yes, yes." There were like 10 people at this party completely laid out because I was pouring them like shots that were like, yeah, like 5 fingers tall. And like finally the owner comes over and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm pouring drinks." He's like, "You know what a shot is?" I also don't drink. And I was like, so he was like, you've cost me like thousands of dollars in booze alone because you're like I became the line for me was huge because I was giving everyone like 7 drinks for the price of one.
Your tips must have been so high.
And yeah, I got busted pretty quick. So I did not get away with it, unfortunately. I think a lot of folks had a good time at my expense, so I'm happy for that.
A lot of paracetamol the next day for them. Next dice roll. Do we have the mic set up for fan questions? If we can get that ready, and we're going to jump to some fan questions. I believe it's your roll next. See what question we get.
Let's do it. 14.
You're rolling high. You're doing well.
You gave me some very swanky dice.
So, you both get to travel to lots of events and work of lots of places. Is there anywhere you've always wanted to visit for events or work? So where would you like to go? And obviously, marine biology in the Antarctic would be...
Oh yeah, that would be cool in Antarctica. But also not that exciting because I live in New Zealand and we're pretty much, neighbors already. So I'm actually thinking Northern Hemisphere is way more exciting for me. Iceland, maybe?
Oh yeah. That would be awesome. I think it's always super cool when an actor gets to be trained on the job or like have an experience on the job because they need it for their character and like production is willing to cover that expense. Like if it's like you need to be a professional diver and so like they take you to diving school.
When you tell them that you don't know how to dive, so they then know that they need to teach you. Yes.
And I think that's super cool. But as far as like locations, I'm very lucky in that from when I was very little, my parents would half Japanese and half Parsi from India. So I traveled to Asia and like a lot, but I haven't gotten to go to much of Europe. And I think it'd be really nice to travel more of Europe for and also, frankly, y'all have been awesome. And I've had such a good time hanging with all of you. This is only my 3rd convention ever. So like,
Wow.
I'd love to do more cons in Europe.
You've got the bug now.
Oh, dude, it's great. And I mean, getting to meet people and like see how much they're moved by the stuff you do, that's super cool. So yeah, I'd love to, I think getting to go to like Switzerland or, somewhere up, that would be so cool.
So if anyone's watching this and work at other cons, let them know. It's a free holiday. It's great. I have lots more questions, which we might do. I feel like I want to do the critical fail question. Do I do the critical fail question?
Yes.
Yep. All right. Okay. Critical fail. This means really bad.
Oh, okay.
If normally in Dungeons and Dragons, if you roll a 1 on your D20, it means that whatever the action was, like if you were going to try to cut somebody, you like drop the sword and fall on it. Like it's epically bad.
Ouch. Oh
So,
my gosh. Okay.
This is what would happen if we rolled
Brace
1.
yourself.
Because you've been so honest so far, so I feel like this is a good one. What is the most embarrassing thing to happen to you on set or while recording? I told you it was a critical fail. And this is your fault because you said yes.
Yeah, you should go first.
I should go first?
Yes.
Oh man. So normally I fast if I'm working. Like I do a lot of performance capture, so we're in the suits, it's like very physical, so on and so forth. So I won't eat at lunch because if you eat at lunch and then they're like, so we need you to jump off this 7-foot ledge and do a roll and come up with an M4 or whatever, I'm gonna like throw up all over the place. And they told me I was shooting a trailer for what's the Lord of the Rings game where you can like take over people and like establish like
Is that Shadow? Honestly?
yes, Shadows of Mordor. They were doing the trailer where he's building the ring, and they told me that all the hard stuff was done. And so it was lunchtime, and I was like, great. And like one of the things they had was like split pea soup or whatever. And so I'm eating soup or whatever. And then we go back and they're like, so we have to do a bunch of takes of you getting thrown across the room when the ring explodes. And then you need to like lay there like, and I was like, okay. First couple weren't bad. But I like throw like 11 or 12. And like they have a guy who literally like hits me with a shield to like launch me across the room. And I laid there after like the 12th time and I start coughing and I threw up and split piece soup, green, goes flying across the room. It was the most disgusting thing ever. And like, I was like, oh my God, people are going to be so mortified. And instead the production team was like, did you see that? We made him throw up. That's awesome. And I was like, what is wrong with you people? Where is your humanity? And I was like, to this day, I know that stage and I can still see the outline of this green streak across the carpet because they have carpet on the floor in the mocap stage because otherwise it's really loud when you like walk on it. So mortifying. And like to this day, if I'm working on anyone who was with me on that shoot is like, yeah, there's Noshir from there all the way to there.
You should sneak in and like initial it as like, this was me.
Noshir was here.
What about you? Any embarrassing stories you'll dare share? I don't think you can top that.
I don't think I can top that. I don't think I've ever spewed on set that I can remember.
That's good.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah. Or I mean, like maybe fake spewed. I've done a lot of fake spewing as part of the scene.
It doesn't have to be about spew, by the way. That was totally random.
So we recorded. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, this was mortifyingly embarrassing for me, but it does pale in comparison to yours, Noshir. I was recently filming an action movie, and my character's this really tough part of a bank heist crew. And they're running out and she's got to like jam the door lock, like turn it, basically just turn a door lock. And I couldn't do it. It was like, honestly, we'd done all of the talking bits. We'd done like, the intense like eye acting. We'd done the action parts. And they're like, right, just to wrap up the scene, Michelle, we need you to run back and just close the door, like close the lock. And I was like, got it, easy. And we literally, I had 20 takes and the director was like, Mark, who's obviously like a very famous person, was like, oh my God, who is this person that we've cast? It was like by the 5th time, I had PTSD from needing to turn this. I couldn't do it. And in the end, actually, I think the director was like, don't worry, here's a spanner. Let's just say that you like jam a spanner through it. Like it was blunt force. And it was very embarrassing for me as a technical actor who couldn't turn a door.
But that is really the worst when there's something like super mundane that like you expect to be easy and then like you just can't seem to do it. And it gets worse the more times you try it. Like
you get in your head, don't you? It's like, I just need to turn it to the right. Okay, action. Damn it.
Well, I had to be confident as well. Like there was a lot of direction. It's like you're in a hurry. You need to like make a getaway. Turn it with confidence, and I'd be like, go, and then it would.
Sorry. I think you need to show this with it. How do you act confidently locking a door? Show us now, like one take. How do you confidently lock a door? Wait, I don't think they got answer you. One more time. Let's how you confidently lock a door, guys.
Be like, easy. When there's not actual mechanics wearing gloves and a balaclava. I mean, come on.
Fan questions, right? I want to do some fan questions for the last 15. We have a microphone here, and we have a microphone here. Because we only have 15 minutes, can we please keep it to name questions? Okay, that would be brilliant. We will start to my left here. Name and question, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Kia. I was wondering if either one of you could have your characters come back for like an additional story. So like we see Rampart's rise in the Empire or Omega in the Rebellion. If you could do that with your characters, would you want to do it? And like how much would you want to see from it?
Good question. You're putting me to shame.
I don't know. Maybe Omega like grows up and then confronts Rampart. Like what would we like? And be like, hey, you blew up my city. I've got a bone to pick with you.
I would love to see that interaction. I'd love to see Rampart's eyes like when he realizes like little twerp has turned into like a
Twerp.
clone. Yeah, and a clone nonetheless. God, I hate clones. I would love that interaction. For me, I think, well, if it has to be Rampart, I would love to see him as like a younger, like little turd, like
What got him to that stage?
That would be
like
great.
how ruthlessly he kind of climbs up the ladder to get to where he is. But I would love to be able to do a game about Bode as a Jedi working in intelligence, and then like Order 66, and then at the end you have to play as Bode taking out
And protecting his family and... Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be dope.
DLC, get it sorted. Brilliant question. Thank you very much. We'll jump to the other side now.
My name's Jack, and I have a question. Do you find your characters in the Bad Batch annoying?
Do I find my character
Welcome to London, guys.
I definitely find her character annoying. Absolutely, yes. The answer is absolutely yes.
I'd like to think that you could change your ways. So I think I'm a little more magnanimous towards you.
That's a brilliant question.
And I think
Okay.
Rampart for sure, like he should be obnoxious, you know? He is not a good dude. And I'm glad that people wish that I like step on a Lego and all kinds of other inventive things.
Does anyone deserve that punishment?
Rampart definitely does.
Yes.
I mean, there's only two things you should never step on. Lego and a D4. And that's the pyramid one.
No, this one. I mean, these ones are...
Yeah, that'll hurt.
Really. It's going to...
Lethal.
Yes.
Put it in your shoes. Brilliant question. Thank you so much. We'll jump to the other side. Darth there. Thank you, Darth.
Hi, my name is Alfie. I have a question for both of you. What is your all-time favorite Star Wars movie?
God, you're so mean today. I love it.
Empire Strikes Back, without a doubt.
Same. Empire Strikes Back.
Who's an Empire fan? Yeah. Next question.
So my name's Alex, and a question for both of you is, what were your reactions when you found out you'd be joining the Star Wars universe?
When I auditioned, obviously there was like a code name, and all the scripts in the world were like completely hidden. And I was working my normal day job when I found out, and I was like, this has got to be a mistake. Like, is someone pranking me? I was in New Zealand. I think COVID had just been like announced and we were in lockdown. I was like, someone's having a joke, right? It was wild. And then also not knowing who Omega was and how she was going to fit into the Star Wars world. Definitely as the first script started coming in and I got a little peek as to who she might become, it was pretty amazing.
I'd done previous work in the Star Wars universe with Star Wars Squadrons, and I'd gotten to work on like trailers for Knights of the Old Republic and stuff like that. So like my Star Wars like nerd, like I was already like way out there and freaking out. But when I auditioned for Rampart, I knew that was special, especially when like Jennifer and Brad Rao, our director, were like kind of in the room. But I think the moment it really hit me was the very first day. We're sitting in the lobby. We have to fill out all these contracts and stuff. And this gentleman sits next to me and is like, "Hi, I'm D." And my response was, and then I got up and ran to the bathroom because I thought I was peeing my pants.
It's coming out of everywhere with you, isn't it?
It really does. I should see a doctor about that. Anyway, like, and I think because D's like, he's been a hero of mine forever. And I think, and I was a massive fan of the Clone Wars. Like, I sat down with my wife, we watched the original trilogy, and then I showed her the Clone Wars. And like to watch her face when she realizes who Anakin is, like that, I was like, that's Star Wars. You know what I mean? So to get to be a part of that legacy in any way.
Oh my gosh, I feel like it's so weird because I am the opposite of that. Like I didn't grow up with Star Wars and I didn't know who D was. And so I was like the weird bright-eyed Omega, like, hi D, I'm Michelle. Like no idea.
You mean you were normal? That's good.
And then all of the wonderful other guest stars who came in, and then that's when I started to be like, oh, D is D. And yeah, it was so wonderful to actually be like, I'm mentored by one of the greatest voice actors ever. How lucky.
But did you lie to get the role?
Did I what?
Lie to get the role.
No, absolutely not. Never again. I learned my lesson.
That is always the correct answer. Lucasfilm are always watching.
Hey, can we do one thing real quick? Obviously, D wanted to be here and he can't. Can we get a round of applause for D?
Yes.
Let's show him some love.
I think we'll get the three of yous back and do this again.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that question. That was brilliant. We'll jump to the other side here.
Right, yeah, my name's Cam. I was going to say, if Dave Filoni waved his magic cowboy hat and asked you to go in live action to come over like Mandalorian or Ahsoka or something like that, just like a bit older maybe, would you come back, either of you, as your characters?
Oh my god, yes, if I was allowed to, if I could be Omega. Could I be Omega? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I love voice acting and it's such an honor, but I feel like yes, being live action Star Wars would be just like yeah, that would be the cherry on top.
If anyone ever answers no to that question, they should be yeeted across the room.
I mean, a Jedi Survivor live action series would be amazing. Anyone else like to see Jedi Survivor live action?
Cameron would kill it.
Yeah. He just wants all the ponchos, let's be fair. He would raid the costume department for those ponchos. But brilliant. Thank you for that. That was amazing. We'll jump to the other side here. Name and question, please. A nice hat.
Okay, so for Noshir voicing Bode in Jedi Survivor 2, and Michelle voicing Omega in The Bad Batch, what was the hardest line or scene to record emotionally, like the saddest scene, or, you know,
The hardest scene to record. Ooh,
emotionally?
emotionally.
It's a tie. The tie is between still makes me a little bit emotional talking about it, but the end of season 2 when Tech makes a decision to sacrifice himself so that we can make a getaway. That was really hard. And it's weird because, you know, we're not recording it with visuals or anything. It's really just placing ourselves in the authenticity of what's happening in the scene with just me and Dee and our voices. That was really hard. And then actually, surprisingly, the epilogue, which like the finale of The Bad Batch, we had to do so many takes. I don't know. It was really hard. It was hard emotionally for me. It was hard to like hit the right note. We wanted it to feel like all of the potential, but all of the journeying that Hunter and Omega had done was all manifest in those simple lines. Like, you know, it's Hunter, I'm ready. Like, I want to do more. Like the goodbye. Goodbyes are hard. Yeah, those were two really, really hard scenes for me.
The question is, what was the hardest?
Hardest emotionally for you. Maybe not necessarily in Bad Batch, but just some of your Star Wars roles maybe as well. Your questions have been really good, by the way, guys. I've got to say.
This may be something that like just happened on the stage. So, in the scene in the Imperial base for Jedi Survivor, when Bode walks in on Cal having met Kata for the first time. Before the scene started, I hadn't had a chance to work with Tajane, who plays Kata, at all. And we had to develop a relationship, like a strong bond very quickly. And so the thing I suggested was that Bode would often have to tell his daughter things, like Kata would hear her dad say things out loud that would be lies, right? Like, and then her father would do something the opposite. And he would have to be able to let her know what he really intended to do. And so we decided that he taught her sign language. So in the scene where Kata comes over and Bode says, it's okay. If you notice his right hand, it kind of fidgets for a second. And that's actually the Aurebesh for O and K, right? To let her know it actually is okay to come to me. And then I say, oh man, this is my best friend. Because I think for Bode, it really is true. Like, he's been alone for so long. And in Cal was the best and only chance he had of ever coming back to who he was. But to try to keep his daughter safe, he severs that bond. So at the end, if you haven't played Jedi Survivor, you should probably cover your ears now because I'm going to give a spoiler. Good? So at the end, and I don't know if they kept it in the takes, when Cal shoots Bode and Bode's on the ground, I reached out for him and I actually am trying to make the gesture of okay. Like, it's okay. Like, it's going to be okay. Like, I know you're doing a horrible thing, but I want you to know that, like, I know that you're doing it for me. So that was probably the heaviest line I had to deliver.
There's so much depth in that character, isn't it? You're not just a bad guy. You're doing it for, like, most people in that situation, you want to protect your kids and you'll do anything to protect them. And Jedi Survivor series is amazing. You did a brilliant part as well. So well done on that. That was some tough stuff. And thank you for sharing such emotional scenes as well. That was brilliant. Thank you. Loving the Filoni hat. How are we doing for time? Right. One more quick question. We'll jump across here.
Hi, I'm James. What did you think of Rampard's death in the final? Because, he killed the Kaminoans and then he ends up getting killed by a Kaminoan, so I'd say it's fitting.
You think it's fitting?
Yes.
Do I need to stand between yous here?
Bloody rebels. So we talked about this scene when we were getting ready to do the VO for it, and we were talking about it, and Jennifer was mentioning, like we talked about it, like is there a chance Rampart ever makes it out, and like the answer for me was unequivocally no. Like Rampart represents a very dangerous part of human nature that we're seeing a lot of right now, which is the idea that my wants are more important than your wants, and that I'm willing to do whatever it takes as long as I get what I want. And that type of philosophy ruins cultures. And it's the reason the empire collapses, right? And like, I love that Rampart never learns the lesson, and like, he has to be dealt with. I was so happy he got nuked. It was great.
I think it's a really good answer, and I think it's actually a really nice point to end on. Don't be like the Empire.
You're
Look
not
at
sad
everyone.
I died? You're not sad I died? I'm telling you.
Ex-friend.
You think you know a person.
But no, thank you for your questions. Unfortunately, we are out of time. However, they are going to be at the autograph section, so please go and see them if you do have some questions later on. I'm sure they'll be happy to answer them. But
Come and say hi.
yeah, but thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming all the way here and talking to us. Sorry we're out of time. These have been absolutely brilliant. We'd love to get you back. Get Dee here as well. Let's do this panel again. Would you like to see them back? Yeah?
Thank you.
And we'll think of some more emotional, embarrassing, and tough questions for you as well. Honestly, it's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, your Bad Batch cast!